All right, we have day 11. We're in the pool. We're going to shoot some stuff in the shallow end, and all of the stuff that we do in the shallow end you can do in the deep end. So as someone's recovering from an injury, they would do the deep end before the shallow end, but this way we get to show you a little work in the shallow end. Then we're going to show you in the deep end some work for shoulders, different shoulder moves. And then we're going to do a little bit of tubing foot to foot. And besides, if someone doesn't have tubing, and a lot of the pools have cuffs, so you could use either tubing or cuffs for the extra resistance. So before I give you important points of the day, usually if you were here, we would have just some extra hints, I guess you want to call it, so just a side lecture. And today I'm just going to talk a little bit about learning styles and learning and your coaching. Very important, very important. When you're teaching somebody, it's nice to know whether they learn kinesthetically, auditorily, or visually. Now, if they're an athlete, they have to learn kinesthetically, goes without saying. But it's nice to know one of the other two, whether they're more visual or they're more auditory. Because that way, we had a young man who was he was in the top 10 in the world in his age group in skiing, and he really was not a visual guy. So watching video didn't help him. Talking helped him. So if he was watching video, he'd talk himself through a video, or he would move to the video. So we got his learning styles. Okay? And you can usually figure out your learning style. Just close your eyes and go back to your very best performance. And was it something you told yourself, or the coach told you, or something you saw either inside, or you saw it on video later, or was something you felt? Either felt physically with your movement or felt emotionally. And that'll tell you your learning style. Okay? We won't go into too much here, but another one is your values. If you're going to be a great coach and you have an athlete, you definitely have to know what their values are. Someone will never go against your values. We always joke that we say if one of your values in life is variety, then don't get married, obviously. So, a good story we had. We had a young lady who was a skier in New Hampshire, and I asked her at the beginning of the year, I said, what are your values in life? She said, my values in life are family and friends. I said, oh, excellent. What are your values for skiing? Why do you ski race? She goes, I ski race because I like the challenge and I like being with my friends. So, well, what about family? You said family was important, but not in skiing. She goes, no, I hate when my family is involved in my sport. Okay? It turns out her father was kind of a pain in the rear end, and he was always pushy and a whole bit. So the girl never really hit her top potential. She's going to the Eastern Championships. And she qualified out of New Hampshire, maybe number 12, something like that. That means that probably the very best she should finish in this Eastern Championship would be in the 40th range. Usually that's the case. A week before the races, she breaks her wrist and she gets a cast on. Now she's going to compete with a cast. And her father goes, oh, we're finished. I'm laughing. There's no we in this. It's just her, so I'm glad you're out of the picture. So I said to the girl, what a challenge for you to ski with a cast on and to try to ski your very best. She doesn't remember that 3 months before she told me her value was challenge. All of a sudden she goes out and she has a 18th place, 15th place, something like that in one of the events. That's unbelievable. And she's doing it with a cast on. So we got to her using her values. So if you're as a coach and you're not in the NFL, you're not Division I or whatever, the values there is winning, there's no question. But if you're teaching high school, you may have a little different value. Winning is fun and is important, there's no question, but there's a lot of other things. So if you're a fanatical maniac, which is okay when you're talking to another fanatical maniac, but if the child is not, then you're not getting through to it. You have to ask their values, and if you're trying to steer them towards team values, you do that, but you want to know their values to get the best of them. Last thing here. For the coaching, external cues, very, very important. Way more success with external cues than internal cues. Okay? No different than if I want to stretch my arm, I stretch, there I am right there. Now, externally, I take a look, I look at the wall, I see where the wall is, all of a sudden, I get a lot more. That's an external cue. So you figure out in your sport how to use external cues. Okay? Let's see. Oh, the other thing was you want to get a lot of repetitions in your coaching. There's no question. So when you're teaching children soccer, you don't want them to stand in line where they hardly touch the ball in the whole bit. So you close down. You get mini games, less players, less space, more touching the ball. Use your imagination in all of your sports so that there's more repetition, there is more touches, more fun, a lot less standing around. Okay, important points of the day. So we're in the shallow end to start here. So the shallow end is the bridge between the deep water and performing on land. So if they were injured, they go deep to shallow, they move there, then they can come on land. Okay? Second point, we're going to use the tubing or the cuffs to increase resistance and then increase the difficulty in the water. And the third one, you'll see with our shoulder moves, we could do all the shoulder moves just in a vertical position and floating. That's nice. But we're going to add some standing on barbells, doing squats on barbells. Again, the more quality that you can get involved, the higher the performance, whether it's performance or recovery, either way, you get more improvement. Okay? Thank you.